everybody, today what I'm going to be doing is making a traveler's notebook to take on a trip that I'm going to be going on. Actually, I've already gotten back from the trip at this point, but I wanted to share with how I assembled this and what worked for me and what didn't. First of all, I'm just going through the pages. I think I got them out of order to begin with. In fact, I get them out of order several times, and I think I finally get them put all back together at the end, but this is just a super cute traveler's notebook from Allie Edwards, Stories of Travel. It's the 2022 kit, and I actually printed these. I think you're supposed to read the directions. I didn't. I think you're supposed to print side B first and then side A, and I think I did the opposite, so they were off by just a little. So I'm looking at where I want to actually cut these so that the middle will be in the middle. So I am evaluating where my printed lines are and how far off. So it was about 1/4 of an inch off, which ended up making my middle not exact throughout the notebook, which I don't care because I'm not going to use this to actually scrapbook in. I only use these while I'm on vacation to write down my thoughts, write down my notes, write down what we did that day. And then I like to make my own stickers to use in these as well. So I'm going to do that for this album or this traveler's notebook as well. But I'm just going to trim these down to the size that I have decided at this point, and I'm just looking at which one has the darker mark and which one goes a little bit further out, because I don't want to trim too much off, but I do want them to line up in the middle, which, like I said, I was not successful because I was about 1/4 of an inch off when I first printed them. I knew that going into it. So I'm going to speed this up and we'll just go through trimming here. For my cover page, I printed that on cardstock, and once again, it wasn't printed correctly, so I am going to trim it so that it is right to the edge of the green pattern, and then I hold it up to my paper to make sure that I'm spot on, and look, you can see where I should be trimming it, but I flip it over and then I trim it an extra 1/4 of an inch since that's what I was off, and it's going to end up being too short. So I'm going to go back to my printer and just reprint the cover onto cardstock. While that's printing, I am actually going to go back and double check my order and reorganize all of my pages because I got them just totally mixed up and backwards. And so I'm just referencing my computer where the PDF is and making sure that I have these all in the right order, which they are. And I am going to now cut that white strip off of the top and the bottom of each page. Okay, so my cardstock cover is now printed, and I am going to double check. I am just double and triple checking that I have these pages in order because my brain was just not functioning when I was making this. I don't know what my problem was. So just cutting this down to the size of the green only. I'm totally disregarding what's on the inside. It's just grid anyway because I'm off and I don't care. I just want something that I can write in while I am on our little mini getaway. So trimming this down on all sides, and then we're going to start folding everything in half. And this is where we've run into the issue that my halves are not exactly lined up, and that's fine. It's gonna be perfectly fine. If it really bothered me, I kind of thought about adding washi tape on the pages, that it really made a difference. But I decided not to do that. I was just going to use this to document while I am away. So it's not going to be my final scrapbook. So folding everything in half, and I'm going to do that for each one of the pages. I'm going to use the side of my bone folder, but I just want to get this really nice and crisp and lined up, and we're going to do that for every single one of these. Okay, so we have all of these folded, and you can see on that first page how there is just a strip of white at the center where it is off just a little bit. Not going to worry about it, so I am going to sharpen my crease here. I have everything in order. I have double, triple, quadruple checked that these are definitely in order. And now I'm going to use my long reach stapler to actually staple the whole thing together. So what I do is I take 2 binder clips and I put one on the top right, and I really push that seam together, push the middles in, and I clip it on the top right, and then I'm going to push it in again, and I'm going to clip it on the top or on the bottom left. So I'm going to put both of those down, secure them, lay it as flat as I possibly can, and then I'm going to grab my long reach stapler and staple that in the middle. So I typically put 2 staples in, one towards the top and one towards the bottom. I just eyeball it, but the trick to using the long reach stapler, at least mine, is that I actually made some marks with Sharpie on the sides. So I'm going to show you here, and one is kind of worn off a little bit, but I have a mark on each side so that I can actually line that up with the spine of my book. It makes it so much easier, and it makes it so that I'm not off center when I'm stapling that. So my book is totally put together now. We're going to fold it down again. And the last step is just going to be rounding the corners of the book. I love having the corners rounded. I think it just makes it look so much more put together, like I bought it instead of something that I made. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up again because once again, we're just rounding the corners, and this is a corner rounder that I got on Amazon a million years ago that works like a champ. now that I have all of those corners chomped properly and rounded, I am going to make a cover for my little traveler's notebook. I just want something that says that it's a short little weekend getaway that we did to Omaha. So I'm going to find a label, and right now I'm thinking that I'm going to try to use up some of my alpha stickers because I have a million of them, but all of my alphas are just a little bit too big for the labels that I liked to go with this. So I also just bought the Ali Edwards block stamps, which are in that top right corner, and I can't wait to use them. So I'm really excited to get those out of the box and try those out. So that's probably what I'm going to end up using. We'll see here what I do, because I went back and forth between the stickers versus the stamp, and I had a couple of other stickers just laying with these labels that I think I bought last year. I can't remember. I think these were like the outdoors kit or travel. I'm not really sure where these came from. They were Ali Edwards though. I know that for a fact. So at this point, I'm thinking that I'm going to go with the stamps instead. And I don't know about you, but I had a terrible time, getting these out of the sleeve. And then once I got them out of the sleeve, I had a hard time getting them out of the box. I think that is not going to be a problem in the future. Once I use them more often, it'll be easier to take them in and out. But man, that first time, they were really stuck in there. So you can watch me struggle with getting those stamps out with the letters that I need. So I'm going to lay those out on the label. I'm going to use the green label to go with my green cover, deciding what stamp color I want to use. I have Mackenzie out, and I have the black, both Ali Edwards inks. So laying that out, and I think it's going to fit. So let's just go for it. I'm going to use the Mackenzie green on the Omaha part. And so I'm going to just practice stamping that out first, and I'm going to stamp my middle letter first, and I'm leaving some space below so that I can put the dates underneath that. So I'm going to just stamp it on there, and I love stamping. I love the imperfection of stamping. My brain, I am such a perfectionist, and I am such a type A that I want everything to be absolutely perfect. And anytime I stamp, it does not turn out perfect. And I love that look. I just cannot do it if I'm not stamping. I just have to go back and make things perfect. So the Omaha fit on there just perfectly. And now I am going to use a rolling date stamp to add the dates on there. This is an auto ink one that I got off of Amazon. And I had to get a new one because my old one only went through 2022. And I liked my old one better because it had little arrows that pointed exactly where this was going to go. So once again, that type A coming out. This one doesn't have those, so I kind of have to guess a little bit. I probably will have to draw on it with Sharpie as well and figure out where it's actually going to stamp so that I can see just perfectly where I'm going to place my date. So I actually end up running off the label here, and I'm totally okay with that. I actually wanted it to look a little bit messy, so I stamped a little bit off to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the cover of my notebook, but as I'm putting it down, I think, no, it needs just a little something more, and I happen to have some washi tape just sitting right next to me that I thought would be really super cute. I think this is a Studio Calico washi tape from a couple of years ago, and it just has that little like, what's it called, where you can see the different elevations on a map. So help me remember what that word is. So I'm going to trim that to the edge, and I think that turned out just really super cute. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to print off some stickers and cut them with my silhouette. I had that on my computer, but I can't actually find the footage. So here is my silhouette cutting out my stickers, and we're going to then trim those down to size so that they will actually fit in my traveler's notebook. I kind of grouped them so that they were no more than about 4 inches wide. Although as I'm cutting these out, I realized I didn't truly do that. I thought I did, but a few of these ended up being a little bit bigger. So you can actually see on the page that I'm not cutting, I only had enough to fill up, what was it, like 2.5 pages. So that last half I used to cut out some more stickers for my planner. So each month I go through and I take the stories by the month and the story kit, and I just take either the chipboard pieces or whatever stickers came along with that kit, and I print those off and I use them in my planner throughout the month. So I'm going to just keep cutting these down to size so that they're just under 4 inches wide. And I will just stick these in the front cover. Sometimes I will actually make a cute little folder or an envelope to hold my stickers, but to be honest, I was doing this the night before we left, so I was just trying to get her done and have it ready to go the next morning when we left. I actually end up having to cut a few of these down by hand so that they will fit in that front cover. But I just love making these. They're so simple. They don't take me very long. I love having it because it's compact, it fits in my purse, and I can just take it out, jot a few things down while we're on our vacation or getaway, and write down the funny things that the kids say, write down the things that we're doing, write down the things that we hope to do, and just be intentional about getting away with the family and making memories together. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe and see you soon.